Praise you, Abba, our Father, for you are in heaven. Holy is your name. Your name, Yahuwah, Elohim, Yeshua, holy. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Forgive me of my trespasses, as I forgive those who have trespassed against me. Father, just thank you and praise you. You are good, your grace, your mercy endures forever and ever is your faithfulness. You are so faithful. You are a good Father. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. That's who I am. That's who we are. So Father, we just ask for your presence, for your Ruach HaKodesh to be upon the hearts and the ears of those whom you choose, for the purpose of the eyes of our understanding being enlightened. Selah, Selah, Selah. Shalom, Shalom. We are in the epistle written by the Apostle Paul Shaw to the assembly in Rome, that wicked city Rome. 2,000 years later, 2018, this is to that wicked heart in man. This is part 14, I believe, and I would humbly ask, if you are just now joining us, please start. I would humbly ask you start at part 1 and let His Ruach HaKodesh speak to you through the scriptures. The Most High speaks through His apostles, through His prophets, through Yeshua. He speaks through His scriptures. Okay? Okay? He speaks through His Ruach HaKodesh directly to us. But we must understand that they both must agree, says the scriptures. So I would tell you, if you are hearing from Yah, and what you are hearing is not written in the scriptures, you are not hearing from Yah, says the scriptures. The Ruach HaKodesh leads and guides into all truth. And what did our Messiah say? And thy word is true. We are in the book of Romans. Chapter 7, verse 1. Surely, you know, brothers, for I am speaking to those who understand Torah, that the Torah has authority over a person only so long as he lives. Let's take our time. For example, a married woman is bound by the Torah to her husband while he's alive. A married woman is only bound by the Torah to her husband while he's alive. But if the husband dies, she is released from the part of the Torah that deals with husbands. Therefore, while the husband is alive, she will be called an adulteress if she marries another man. But if the husband dies, she is free from that part of the Torah, so that if she marries another man, she is not called an adulteress. Wow, that is so much. What did Paul just say? He said that we have the Torah, right? He's speaking to those who understand the Torah, and now they understand the Torah, so he's speaking to them in the most common binding factor in the Torah, which is marriage. Okay, now he says that while the husband is alive, the woman, the wife, is bound by a certain part of the Torah. Okay, bound, bondage, constricted, holding in, holding back, bound, handcuffed, so to speak. Okay, so there's a part of the Torah that is binding this woman to this man because he's alive. Okay, but if that man dies, that part of the Torah she is no longer bound to. But hold up, I thought we gotta obey all the Torah. Is there parts of the Torah that you become bounded to and unbounded to, depending on the life or death? Say that again. Is there parts of the Torah that you are bounded to or unbounded from? Parts of it that you become unbounded from or that you're bounded to, dependent on life or death. Right? Yes. Now when we read the Torah, then we can understand that you shall be my people, and I shall be your God. You obey these commandments and the mitzvot and the regulations. You shall be my people, and I shall be your God. Bounded by that. But we just read that the Torah itself is broken down in such a fashion that there are parts of the Torah that a person may not even be bound to due to circumstances. For instance, the Torah tells us, hey, there are certain rules and regulations. The Levitical priesthood must do this. They must do that. They must work this way. They must live in this part. They must have land set apart for them. They cannot work like other people work. Okay, hold on. So there are parts of the Torah that only matter to who? The priest. The Levitical priesthood. Does that part of the Torah apply to the other 11 tribes? No. A part of the Torah applies to the Levites. So the other 11 tribes, are they to obey that part of the Torah? No. Because if they did, they would be breaking the Torah, because that only applies to the Levites. Their part concerning the Levites is they must take a tenth and separate it so the Levites can be taken care of while they do the business, okay, of the Messiah, while they do the business of temple, okay, of tabernacle rather, while they do the business of tabernacle, while everyone else does their job. But the job of the Levite, according to the Torah, is separate. So that the part of the Torah that applies to the Levites, and the part of the Torah that applies to everyone else. There's the part of the Torah that applies to people that are married, right? The part of the Torah that applies to one that is married but has a husband or wife that's alive, and the part of the Torah that applies to someone who is married but the husband or wife is dead. Okay? Verse 4. Thus, my brothers, you have been made dead to the Torah. Verse 4, chapter 7. Thus, my brothers, you have been made dead with regard. See how he is quantifying this, right? You have been made dead with regard to the Torah through the Messiah's body. So that you may belong to someone else, namely the one who has been raised from the dead, in order for us to bear fruit for Elohim. For when we were living according to our old nature, the passions connected with sins, the passions connected with sins work through the Torah in our various parts, with the result that we bore fruit for death. But now we have been released from this aspect of the Torah because we have died to that which had us in its clutches. What is that had us in its clutches? Of course, sin. Because we just read in chapter 6 that when we are freed from righteousness, we are a slave to sin, and when we are a slave to righteousness, we are free from sin. So now when Paul continues breaking that thing down, what he is saying is, hold on, because of Yeshua, we have the ability, by trusting in him and his work that he has done, okay, his exemplary sacrifice of obedience unto death. Because of trust in him and what he has done, we have now become freed. What does it say right here? But we have now been released from the aspect of Torah because we have died to that which had us in its clutches. So we have become free from what had us in its clutches, which is sin. But the Torah, let's continue reading. So that we are serving in a new way provided by the Spirit, and not by the old way of outwardly following the letter of the law. All right. Jeremiah 31:31 says, of course, this is the new covenant, and this is what this is what he is alluding to here, right? The new covenant says, what? I will write the Torah on their minds and on their hearts, and they will be my God. They will be my people, and I will be their God. And their sins and lawless deeds I shall remember no more. Because now the Torah is in, not outward. This is why he says that by the we have been released from this aspect of Torah. We have been released from this aspect of Torah. We have been released from this. See, it's very particular. What aspect of Torah have we been released from now that Yeshua has done his work? For when we were living according to our old nature, the past is connected with sin, worked through the Torah in our various parts, with the result that we bore fruit for death. So the aspect of Torah that we have been released from is the aspect that bear forth death by the working of sin in us. The aspect of the Torah that we have been released from is the aspect of death that was working in us because of sin that worked death in us. Because now that aspect of sin that the Torah makes very clear, okay, because the word is truth. The word is truth. The word is light. All right. Thy Torah is the light unto my feet and a lamp unto my path. Okay. So that Torah was brought light unto thyself, right, is the light that brings forth sin, knowledge of sin for yourself. For what Paul says as we read further down, if it were not been for the Torah, I would not have known sin. So it is the Torah, the guidelines, the structure, the rules and regulations that help us understand what sin is. We talked about it before. How would I know that I was speeding if it not had been a sign up on the highway that said speed limit 70 miles an hour? I'm going 90. If there's no sign on the freeway that tells me that the speed limit is 70, how would I not know that I was actually speeding while I'm going 90? Okay, it is the regulation that is in place that lets us know our error. So the Torah is necessary for you to know the error, but the regulation itself has no freedom, has no redemption attached to it. What does it actually have attached to it? Automatic judgment. So it's not as though, hey, hey, look, I'm going 90 miles an hour in a 70 mile an hour zone, and the sign that tells me, the municipality, the sign that tells me I'm going too fast, only thing it does is judge me. It doesn't bring me freedom. Alright? Only thing it does is give me a ticket. put me in jail or something, right? That's the only thing it does. But what he's saying here is that now what has happened is because of the work that Yeshua has done, because he's the judge, right? Now there is a freedom from what bound you, even though you were bogus in the fact that you were speeding going 90 and 70. The fact that we were caught dead in our trespasses and sins. The judge, who had the ability, see the judge, when we go to court, only the judge had the ability to take that ticket and throw it away. Because a person may have been going 20 minutes over the speed limit and he is caught dead guilty. Now he's sitting in front of the judge. Only one who can negate that is the judge. And so now we have a judge, all right, who understands the law. Since he obeyed the law, understand the law, and is the law manifested flesh, right? We understand that he's the only one who can get power for that thing to be made null and void. Because he is gracious and he is merciful. But that the judge has only been placed in that position of judgeship because of his death. Because of his obedience unto death. We're going to stop here. I'm going to just preface this right now. Chapter 7 and chapter 8, I know by the Ruach within. We shall spend a few segments here, because this is very important. Chapter 7 and chapter 8 of Romans are like, it's it, man. If we can get an understanding here, your thinking, your understanding of the walk, of the way, of the law, and what it is, and what its purpose is, and what it does, and how it's there. It doesn't bring forth salvation. It in itself does not redeem, but it has such a purpose that it's so necessary. We gotta quit trying to say away with the Torah, away with the Torah, away with the Torah. Just like you telling the judge, hey man, you know what? Why don't we just take all the signs off the freeway and we can just go however fast? Then we won't have a speeding problem. That's dumb, right? Shabbat, well, not Shabbat, but Shalom.